Hey, happy Monday. Hope everybody's having a great Monday. I'm your host, Georgia Girl. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to share some moments in Black History Month. February is Black History Month, and I share about Black history every year. Different people, I talk about different people for Black History Month, but today I want to talk about some moments in Black history. I got like 8 people I'm gonna go over today, but later on this week I'll talk about the other 8 people. Every week until the end of this month, I'll just be sharing different things about Black history moments. And if you're looking for any Black history merch, I have some things available in my shop. You can check out my online boutique. I have the Black History Month shirts. But today, the first person I want to, and this is for educational, entertainment purposes only. Today, I want to talk about Hattie McDaniel. If you're coming in, if you're watching from the bushes, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. This is a moment in Black history. I will be going over at least 8 people, actor, actress. I'll be going over people in politics, sports. These are just going to be moments of Black history. Like I said, if you're watching from the bushes, give me a thumb up. If you're coming in the chat, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And always be respectful when you come in my chat. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And always be respectful when you come in my chat. Don't forget. So I will be talking about Hattie McDaniel. My mom used to talk about her when she was playing in those movies. Yes. Long live my mom. I'm still, dealing with that. But yes, I thank God that I have came a long way with it. Still in my healing process, When you lose someone, it ain't just like it'll just go away just like that. So this is Hattie McDaniel. She was out before I was born. But I have heard my mom talk about her character when she was playing in those old black and white movies. I'm going to get into about her in a few minutes. I just got to do something right quick. But like I said, hope everybody had a great weekend. And today turned out to be beautiful, y'all. This weather, I tell you. I'm loving this weather right longer now because it's not too cold, Hey, Miss Key, how you doing? And shout out to Miss Key and Frank. I see they doing the lemon water challenge. We on day 1. I got some water sitting here beside me. This is Hattie McDaniel. I'm going to be sharing about, it's been going okay. It's been going okay. I just take one day at a time. Like I said, I'm still on my healing journey. I miss my mom daily, but I try to continue to keep living. Right now, I'm sharing moments of Black history, and I will be sharing about Miss Hattie McDaniel, Sidney Poitier, Barack Obama, Simone, the gymnastic, and Jackie Robinson. It's about several people. I'm just going to do a little brief, just show about their moments in history. You doing okay? That's good. Yeah, that lemon water that had me going, girl. Woo! It been having me gone today, but it helped detoxes. And I'm not drinking any caffeine this week. So your day been going okay? I see you got the little cartoon thing for your. I had one on that thing the other day. I said, "Oh, this is what everybody getting the little cartoon little thing." Okay, it was fun, but Yeah. But yeah, like I said, February is Black History Month. Let's put out something right quick. Like I said, the weather has been so nice today. You know, you can't even tell that it's been cold. You can't even tell it been cold compared to how it was a couple of weeks ago. Did y'all watch the Super Bowls last night? I hear a lot of people saying something about the halftime. I watched a little of the halftime. I could understand what he was saying, but they claim he did a good job. Say he did a good job. So I'm sharing from this article where they're talking about 29 interesting Black History Month facts in February. But I won't do all 29 today. I'm gonna probably do about 8 today. Oh, thank you. So I'll be sharing some people that brought Black history moments to us. Um, the achievement of Black Americans deserve recognition year round. But as we head to Black History Month, which is February, we can come together to honor those advancement collectively committed to learning something new and take others too. The person I'm going to talk about first is Hattie McDaniel. Like I said, she was around before I was born, but I have heard my mom talk about she was fun in the way she was acting. You know, she was an actress, and I'm going to give y'all a brief summary about her. So this is about Hattie McDaniel. In 1940, the first Black actor to win an Oscar. She was the first Black actress or actor to win an Oscar for her role as Mammy in Gone with the Wind. I remember when I was young, Gone with the Wind used to be on all the time. You know, like, back then we had cable. Then sometimes we didn't have cable. But I remember that Gone with the Wind stayed on. And I remember seeing the lady playing the maid, but did we ever think that she was going to be in our history to be the first Black lady to receive an Oscar? So she received that role for playing Mamie in Gone with the Wind. McDaniel won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 1940. 7 decades later, when Monique accepted the same award for her role in Precious, Monique, she also won a Golden Globe Award, Academy Award for playing in Precious. I know you'll probably remember the movie Precious, when Monique was the lady mama and the girl Precious. You know, she did a good job in that movie also. Yes. Do you remember when Monique won that Golden Globe for playing the mom? And she was trying to make the girl eat the pig feet, or she was telling the girl don't eat it or something. But I remember seeing the movie. Monique, she played that part good. But she paid homage to her processor in her speech as well as in her dress. You remember? A blue gown with gardenias in her hair and a nod to McDaniel's Oscar attire. So Monique honored her when she won her award. She wore like a blue gown, and she had some gardenias in her hair just to honor McDaniel for winning. So this is Hattie McDaniel. She won an Oscar. She was honored the first Black lady to win an Oscar. She was a very bad, yeah, she was. She really was. So they say it's been 75 years since Hattie McDaniel won Gone with the Wind, accepting her award at the Ambassador Coconut Grove nightclub. For her husband, a friendship with Clark Gable, and 74 maid roles later, she died. Her body refused by a segregated cemetery. Her statue now missing, but with her decent memory, her legacy lives on. So this is Hattie McDaniel, y'all. She she's paved the way for all the stars like Halle Berry, um, just to name a few. Halle Berry, Monique, from a girl named she played in the movie Fields, and she did a good job in that movie. I can't think of the lady name. And Cicely Tyson, we cannot leave her out. Cicely Tyson, she also was an awesome actress, but McDaniel was the first lady to receive an Oscar. Okay. So they said on February afternoon in 1940, Hattie McDaniel, one of the biggest African-American movie stars in the world, marched into the Culver City offices of producer Davis Dick and placed a stack of Gone with the Wind reviews on his desk. The Civil War epic, released 2 months earlier, had become an instant cultural sensation. And McDaniel portrayed a Mammy, the head slave at Tyra. The film fictional Southern plantation was being singled out by white and African American critics as an extraordinary. The Los Angeles Times even praised her work as worthy of the Academy Supporting Award. She was 44 years old when she had gotten nominated, guys. The Best Supporting Actress in category, along with her co-star Olivia de Havilland, contributing to films recording record-setting 3 nominations. They got 3 nominations for this award. I don't really watch the Golden Globe or the Academy Award show. Sometimes I might catch it every now and then. You know, it seems like there have been a lot of Black stars has been nominated, and some have won, like Denzel Washington. I still am trying to call him a girl now. I can't call her name, but hey, welcome in, y'all. I'm sharing about Black History Month. This is Hattie McDaniel. She was the first lady to win an Oscar for playing in a movie, Gone with the Wind. Thank you, pre-retirement, you and Bud Files. Thank y'all for supporting. If I don't tell y'all enough, I do appreciate you both. Y'all are 2 awesome creators. You'll catch pre-retirement over there cooking. You'll be seeing Bud Files. They be going on their trips. They do historic trips, like from graveyards to schools, and both of these channels are 2 people that I would suggest you check out. And of course, my girl Miss Key is also my member. She been with me the longest out of all my members. We've been kicking it for the last 4 or 5 years, and she's been my member almost 2 years. I appreciate everybody for their support. And let's continue to support one another the best way we can and when we can. So I'm just sharing some moments in Black history. If you don't know who Hattie McDaniel is, she was 44 years old when she got nominated for winning Best Actress in Gone in the Wind. And that was an old movie, but if you sit there and watch Gone with the Wind, it's a pretty good movie. If you just sit there and just watch it, back then I didn't really understand the movie. I didn't really understand because I was young. But I remember them playing that movie over and over and over. And I really didn't really understand the meaning of that movie. But as I got older, if you go back and watch Gone with the Wind, it's a pretty good movie. It is a pretty good movie. So she is one of the ones that I'm recognizing today. Miss Hattie McDaniel. So the next person I'll be sharing about, today I'm sharing about athletes and politicians. Okay, next person I'm going to go to, let me see. I'm going to go with a man. This person right here, he is a judge. Hold on, let me find his information. This is Moments in Black History. If you didn't know, I'm sharing with y'all today. Maybe y'all can check them out. I just talked about Miss Hattie McDaniel. Let me welcome everybody in the chat. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I hear a lot of people talking about the Super Bowl. They're talking about that halftime performance. I don't understand what he was saying, but it was pretty good, you know. They did a lot of dance moves in it. I know that. So I'm thinking to share about, hold on. You know, as you read and do research, you can find out a lot of history. A lot of this history was before some of us were even born, 1940s and 30s and 1800s. You know, we wasn't born when some of these people was nominated and invented a lot of things for Black history, but they are in the history books. And for my channel, I like to, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. I know it's been a minute. I haven't seen you, but you know, good to see you. You know, I was off for a little while. I had lost my mom a week before Christmas, so trying to bounce back, and you know, I just continue to ask God to continue to make me stronger each day. But my mom will always be in my heart. So I was just sharing some moment in Black history. I just talked about Hattie McDaniel. She was the first one to win a Golden Globe for acting. Right here on the stream, I have this 1967 Thurgood Marshall was the first Black justice on the Supreme Court. Hey Frank, welcome in. How you doing? I see you drinking that water. I don't know about you and McKee. That water been had me going today, y'all. Woo. I got me a glass right here. I mean, woo, I've been going to the bathroom. Y'all make sure y'all check out the lemon water challenge. This is a challenge we do every year. You know, it's for whatever you choose the lemon water to be for you. It could be like a goal, probably just stay off caffeine for a week, or it could be a detox. It could be something to help with hydration. But today I'm sharing about Black history, moments in Black history. In 1967, Thurgood Marshall. This is Thurgood Marshall, who was the first Black justice, United States Supreme Court. He was the first one to be nominated to the Supreme Court. Marshall is a civil rights lawyer, was nominated to the Supreme Court by President Lyndon B. Johnson. He served as justice until 1991. See, I didn't know that. See, I didn't know a lot of this stuff. You know, our teachers used to talk about them in school. You know, sometimes we probably were paying attention and sometimes we weren't. But it's good to know your Black history. It's good to know your Black history. So he was nominated to the first Black person to be nominated to the Supreme Court. And he was nominated by a president. He was nominated by another president, Lyndon B. Johnson. Did y'all know this? Did y'all know about the first Black man to be, well, I say African American, to be nominated for, he was a lawyer, but he was nominated on the Supreme Court. Did y'all know that? So it's a lot of things y'all probably didn't heard of, but you didn't really know. So today I'm just doing some history month moments. You might have heard of, you might have seen movies about some of these people that I'm speaking of. But like I said, we all are part of Black history. Whether we are famous or not, we're still part of Black history because we had our mothers and grandmothers used to, some of our mothers, well, maybe our grandmothers used to march for us, and a lot of our grandparents and great grandparents of their parents was out there when Martin Luther King was out there marching. A lot of them probably remember how things used to be in the 1850s. I used to hear my grandma when she was living, how she used to talk about the way they had to pick cotton and things like that. That was just like that was their job. They have a choice but to pick cotton. That was their way of living, and some of them were slaves, and but thank God that things are, um, they're not the way it used to be, but I still say some races in the world. But but the person I'm talking about right here is Thurgood Marshall. He was the first Black justice on Supreme Court. I'm just gonna share a few facts about him. I don't know if y'all knew about him or not. So this is just a moment in history. So this is commentary. This is for educational entertainment purposes only. The civil rights lawyer and former Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. He was born in July 1908. He died January the 24th, 1993. I'm just going to share a little history about what he had done, his accomplishment. He efforts to outlaw segregation and fight for equality, and undoubtedly among the most important accomplishments in his century. So this is Thurgood Marshall. Have anybody in the chat ever heard of him? You might have heard in your history class, or you probably seen it on some of the channels with talk about Black history. Hello, welcome. I'm sharing some moments in Black history. Right now, I'm talking about the first African American who was nominated for the Supreme Court. He was appointed by Lyndon B. Johnson in 1967. Welcome in. I welcome people in my chat as long as you're being respectful. Thurgood Marshall was not married to a white woman. The first wife was Vivian Berry, was a Black, and his second wife, Cecilia Swart, was a Philippine descent through, was initially treated as a foreigner by in the NAWCP despite being American-born Hawaii. They're just talking about his marriage status. But he was a civil rights lawyer. He was nominated for Associate Justice on the Supreme Court. And his name was Thurgood Marshall. These are accomplishments of African Americans who made history. I just shared about Hattie McDaniel. She was the first lady to win an Oscar in a movie, Gone with the Wind. So moving along, I'm going to talk about the next person. This is a moment in Black history, guys. So the next person is Shirley Chisholm. I'm sure a lot of y'all probably have heard about her. They even did a movie about her. I think Regina King played a good role. And I think I had shared this last year. One year I shared about when Regina King, when the movie came out, I shared about that. She played that part. The way they had Regina King in that movie, she was looking just like she was looking like Shirley Chisholm. For real, y'all. I'm like, wow, they had her really fixed up like that. But this is Shirley Chisholm. This is the third person that I'm talking about today. Chisholm became the first African American congressman woman. Her status, she had ran for president, seemed like it. Shirley Chisholm became the first African American congresswoman in 1968. 4 years later, she became the first major party Black candidate candidate to make a bid for the U.S. president. So she did run for president. Wow. But that movie was pretty good. It was sharing some things about her life and things like that. So they said, who was Shirley Chisholm? She was born in 1924. She died in 2005. Shirley Chisholm is the best known for becoming the first Black Congresswoman in 1968, representing New York State in the United States House of Representatives of 7 terms. Wow. She went on to run for the 1972 Democratic nomination for president, becoming the first major party African American candidate to do so. Throughout her political career, Chisholm fought for education, opportunities, and social justice. Chisholm left Congress in 1983 to teach. She died in Florida in 2005. So she left a mark on Black history. She was one of the first Black women to be in Congress, one of the first ones to run for president. This is Shirley Chisholm. Okay. In her early career, Chisholm was born Shirley Anita St. Hill on November 30th, 1924. She was born in a Black neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York. Chisholm spent part of her childhood in Barbados with her grandmother after graduating from Brooklyn College in 1946. She began her career as a teacher and went on to earn a master's degree in elementary education from Columbia University. And this is Shirley Chisholm, the first African-American congressman. And this happened in 1968. I was not born. I was born in 1969. But like I said, when you little, then you grow up hearing all these stories about who was president and things like that. And I know my mom, I'm telling my mom, God bless her soul, God bless the dead. May my mom rest in peace. I tell you, one president my mom loved was Jimmy Carter. She loved herself some Jimmy Carter. And I never heard her mention this lady. You know, she might have did, but like I said, I was young. I didn't know who Shirley Chisholm was. She was in Congress in 68. I was born in 69. So I didn't know much about her. But as I went into school, we got to get into history books and things like that. You know, you learn about some of these people in history, Black history. So she was the first African-American congressman. And she did it for 7 years. Wow. And from how that lady was, how Regina King was playing her in that movie, she was a firecracker. She tried to get her point across. She tried to do things to better people in the United States. One of her main goals was education. That was one of her main goals, education, being fair. So I'm just reading some of her history. They were just saying, she was initially assigned to a forestry committee, but I guess a lot of them was surprised about the way how she was handling things. So like I said, she played Regina King. I think she should have won an award for that role, but she did. She played her part though. So she was the member of the Congress of Black Caucus in 1969 and championed minority education and employment opportunity through her tenure in Congress. Like I said, one of her Shirley Chisholm main topics was education and employment opportunities for others. And she did that while she was in Congress. Hey, Kenneth. How are you doing? Welcome in. Shirley Chisholm was an immigrant grifter. Was she? I don't see what they said that about her, but you have your opinion. So that's what she was. I'm reading her biography now. I don't see where it say that she was an immigrant. But your opinion will be respected in the chat. But she made her mark in history. She was the first African American to be a congressman. She was also the first one to run for president. First lady to run for president. I'm looking at her. I am looking at her biography now. She was part of the Democratic Party. I see that about her. I don't see what you're saying about the immigrant. Maybe this is something I need to check into. I don't see it. But why do you say that about her? I mean, tell me something that you know, the facts about what you said about her. Her right here, she was known as a African American. But she announced her bid to run for president. She was with the women movement of this country. This right here, it was in 1972. So she was the second woman to bid for United States president. Okay. I don't know who the first one, but let me see what they say. They said Chisholm went on to make history yet again. Becoming the first African American and the second woman to make a bid for the United States president. Okay. With a major party when she ran for Democratic nomination in 1972. 6'9". I was like 3 years old, so I don't know too much about it. This is just in the history books. In announcing her bid, Chisholm said, "I am not the candidate of Black America, although I am Black and proud." This is what she said when she made her bid. She's announcing her bid. Chisholm said, "I am not the candidate of Black America, although I am Black and proud. I'm not the candidate of the women movement of this country. Although I am a woman and I am equally proud of that. I am the candidate of the people. And my presence before you now symbolizes a new era in American political history." Now, this is what she said when she was getting ready to announce her bid. In other words, she just wasn't for the women. She was for all America. And I'm going to say this, and I don't want people coming in my chat. If you're coming in, please be respectful. Because I have my opinion. Y'all have y'all opinion. And that's what we need, a president for all people. Even though they feel like they don't think a woman would become a president. They don't think a woman would ever. But don't never say never. It might just happen one day. And this is my opinion. And people can come in, but if you're coming in acting crazy, yes, I will get you out. But I will read your comment, and I'm going to respect your opinion. But as long as you're not coming in attacking me for my opinion, and I want to attack you for yours. And I'm going to say this. The president we got now, people can say what they want to say. They can believe what they want to believe. I don't think he's for everybody. I didn't vote for him. This is my opinion. We need a person in the White House for everybody. I was just reading a while ago what he said about that man performance last night. No, I didn't understand what Bad Bunny was saying, but that's his style. That's his style of music. But he said it was a disgrace or whatever. But I'm not going to get into that politics. But I'm just saying. So you saw what the man said about Shirley Chisholm, right? Said she was an immigrant drifter. I'm reading her biography. I don't see nowhere where she was named that. What she said was she was for all people. And that's what we need up there in that White House. Not for a president just to be with the people that voted for him. And he's just about, "Hey Kenneth, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm sorry. Did y'all watch the football game yesterday? Did y'all watch the Super Bowl. Frank, I see where you were saying the game was pretty good, but he criticized that man performance. I don't know what the man was saying. I could understand the language, but there was people out there understood what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? So did y'all watch the Super Bowl? But right here, I'm just sharing some moments of Black history. Right here, I just was talking about Shirley Chisholm, and like I said, she bid for the White House, but she was letting people know she wasn't there for just a particular group. She was there for everybody. And that's what, like I said, this what I'm saying. We need a president for all people, not just for the Republican Party, not for the people that, you know, voted for you, that got all the money and it's whatever. Be there for everybody. But that's why our votes are very important. That's why our votes are very important. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. That's why people march for those votes. Martin Luther King, all the people that marched in Selma, Alabama, they out there marching for us to have a voice. They was marching for us to have a chance to vote. You vote for who you want, but don't complain when things don't go the way you want them to be, because you have an opportunity to make those votes. Yes, I watched the football game. It wasn't as close as the final score. Okay. I know I heard my husband talking about Seahawks. That who won? I didn't really watch it, but I did see like a recap of the halftime. And they was like, some people said the man did good with understanding. I'm just saying Trump said he was one of the worst performers ever, you know. But that's just his opinion. A lot of people like what the man did. Welcome in, Divine. Are you new? I do welcome you. I'm just sharing some moments in Black history. I just got through talking about Shirley Chisholm. Shirley Chisholm was the first Black, well, I'm just going to say the first African American woman in Congress. And she was also one of the first to run for president. And I like what she had said. She was letting people know she was a woman, but she stood for everybody, male, female, everybody. She was all about education. She was all about civil rights. So I'm finna go to the next person. You said I didn't watch. Oh, you did? Yeah, I seen some of the recaps. So if you coming in, I just been sharing some moments of Black history. First, I showed Hattie McDaniel. She was the first Black lady to win an Golden Globe for her part in Gone with the Wind. And this second person I was talking about is Thurgood Marshall. He was nominated on the Supreme Court. And then this person here is Shirley Chisholm. Like I said, she was the first African American to become a congressman. Okay. Okay. Shirley Chisholm was an African American. She was Caribbean American. I don't use the term, but that term, African American, means something. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. So she wasn't African American. I was just reading her status from what they said when she was. They got in her biography that she was the first African American to run for president. So, but let me see what she was. I got my thing here. Let me see what was she? You said she was Caribbean American. Let me see. I'm reading here. Okay, she was born in New York. Okay. I'm looking at her biography now. She was the Democratic Party. Okay. So I'm trying to see what she's an African American. So you said she was not one. Her parents was Barbadian, Barbados. Thank you for sharing that. I'm looking now. I was reading how they got her status as a African American, and see, that's what they're saying in her biography, that she was the first African American. I'm not seeing where she was. I'm trying to see where she was from, Barbados, or her parents. Maybe I gotta look a little farther. I don't know who the two people are, but they came in, they're sharing their opinion. So let's respect everybody's opinion. As long as they're not doing anything negative, they're fine. Okay, thank you for sharing that. You welcome to stay. I mean, I respect people's opinions over here. And I'm looking at her biography right now. Do you have a channel, Plant Based and Kevin? Do y'all have a channel? She's not a descendant of enslaved African from America. Okay. I'm just looking at her biography, trying to see, you know, I'm just trying to see where y'all talking about she's not an African American. Okay. Maybe I have to do some more research, but I'm just sharing how they got it, as she was one of the moments of Black History Month is where she was bid for president, and she was the first African American to go to Congress. But I'm gonna check into it and see what else I can find about her. Let me see what I find out about her parents. Do y'all have some channels, Kevin and Plant Based? Do y'all have? Okay. Okay, I see that now. Thank you for telling me that. They said Shirley Chisholm parents were Caribbean immigrants who moved to the United States from Barbados and Ghana. Her father, Charles Crispell Hill. And see, hey, I like that. If it's something I need to know, let me know. Because I didn't really get into her parents' part. I'm only reading about what I see about, because the article I'm reading from just showing when she was nominated, when she um, went out for president, and then it's showing her status at Congress. I didn't read all the part about her because I didn't want to take all the time on her. I'm just going through different people. Okay, African American, Black American, FBA pertain to people who are descendants of enslaved Blacks in the United States. Okay, thank you for sharing it. But I do see what y'all was talking about. But like I said, I wasn't. This whole live is not about her. If I would have just do a segment on her, I can get into her parents and things like that. But her parents was Caribbean immigrants. So thank you for sharing that. Appreciate you for that. Both of y'all guys for coming in and sharing that. Her father they was from Barbados and Ghana. Ghana, okay. All right then. But she just had the status of running for Congress. She was in Congress as a African American. Whether she was born that or not, that is her status in politics as an African American, things like that. So we're gonna move on to the next person. I appreciate the input, because I'm not going like sharing about all their when they was born. Well, I did share when she was born, but I didn't go into parents and her nationality and stuff like that. So the next person I'm gonna be talking about is Sidney Poitier. How many of y'all have seen some of his movies? Even though he has some old movies, but like I said, we've seen a lot of these movies as a child, but we just didn't know who these people were, like Hattie McDaniel, Sidney Poitier. My mom used to watch his movies. You know, we had that black and white TV back then, and that's all we could see, right? So I'm just gonna read about what he did, what mark he made in American in Black history. So I'm not really going deep in their personal life, like their parents. I'm just only reading about their status and what moment they did. Raising in the Sun, yeah, I liked that movie too. It was an old movie. It was an old movie, but they remade it. I think they remade it. They had some more people. Okay, thank y'all for coming in. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up now. So, Money Rule said Raising the Sun and one of the most beautiful souls that ever lived. Yeah, I have watched some of his movies. Some I like the one by Guess Who's Coming for Dinner. I seen that one, and I did see Raising of the Sun. You know, it was in black and white, but they rebooted it. But I don't think it was like the first movie. So Sidney Poitier, I'm just gonna read just some brief prescription of him. Like I said, I'm just reading about 29 Black history moments and facts. And he was one of the ones. I'm not gonna do all on the day. I'm gonna read some of them today. Then I'll come back the next day. Yeah, ill with Diddy, yeah. To Serve with Love, yeah. So I see you have watched a lot of his movies, huh? Yeah. So I mean, if you go back and if you were to read some of these people that some of the names I'm not gonna get to today, I'm gonna do it as I go, like another day, you know, while it's Black history. You'll be surprised and be like, wow, I didn't know this person did that. You know, that's why it's good to know your Black history. It's good to know your history. It's good to know who helped invented what and some of the things we're still using today because of people invention. Like, hold on. No, I'm not single. I'm not single. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you have a channel, you can type the words troopers and your link will drop. If you want to support my channel, it would be nice to have. But no, I'm not single. I'm married. I've been married for 35 years. Yep. But anyway, I'm fixing to get into the next person that out of the 29 people. Today I'm doing 8. I'm going to do like 8 more, probably another day, 8 more till I finish up the 29 on the list. It's 29 people that made Black history, like from athletes to politician to I was asking for you. Okay, plant based. Okay, I got you. So, do you have a channel, plant based? Do you have a channel? If y'all like my commentary today, support me. Okay, the next person is Sidney Poitier. I'm just reading a brief. The Black inventors are. If you want us to know about your channel, you can type the word troopers, TROOPERS. Your link will show up. I'm just showing like some brief information about it. My moderator want to know who you are, plant based. You know, we have to check people out. Over, I don't understand. Do Nina some more? Okay. Right here, I'm just showing like some brief information about the people that I'm showing today. In 1968, Sidney Poitier is the #1 box office star in the United States. I wasn't even born. Was anybody in the chat born in 1968? I was born in 1969. So he was at number one at the box office in 1968. So I'm old. Okay. So 1968, Sidney Poitier, 63. Okay. So you are familiar with some. I see why you know some of his movies. You were born in 87. You the same, whatever. You the same year my daughter born. Lord Jesus. My, no, that's the year I graduate. My daughter was born in 89. You know Sidney Poitier, Miss Key? You know, as we was younger, we didn't know too many, we didn't know too much about Sidney Poitier. I used to hear my mom talk about him playing in movies. Like I have heard her say something about Raising in the Sun and that movie about Guess Who Come for Dinner and things like that. Yeah, I liked it, that one right there too. Even though it came out, I forgot how old I was, but I remember seeing that movie. So this is what they saying about Sidney Poitier. The first in Black history was the one and only Sidney Poitier. The legend was also the first Black actor to be nominated for an Academy Award in the Best Actor category and later the first to win it. He won it in 1963, Lilies of the Fields. A trailblazer behind the scenes, too. He was the first to insist on a film crew that was at least 50% African American during the making of 1969, The Lost Man. So he had a lot of accomplishments. So, but his mark came as the first Black man, I would say African American, to win award. He paved the way for Denzel Washington and all the male leaders of today. He paved the way for them. I think Denzel Washington won an award, Oscar, Will Smith. Some of the guys that he paved the way for. Happy Black History Month to you too, and thank you for coming in. So Sidney Poitier, he was born February 20, 1927, Miami, Florida. Wow. And of course, I can't forget about Spike Lee. Spike Lee's just been doing a lot of, he did a lot of movies. He wrote a lot of movies too. So he was born in 1927. Wow. So right here, they said for 20 years, beginning in the early 50s, he was the top and virtually sole African-American film star. Wow. So it wasn't nobody, it was more actors, but, he was just, he was in the spotlight in the 50s. He was the top star. Okay. The first Black actor to become a hero to both Black and white audience. So it was both audience, the Black and white. He had his fan base with all of them. It wasn't just like it was a certain group. Black and white, probably Hispanics too. People all over the world watched his movies. Okay. He won a prestige. He was the first. Poitier was also the first Black actor to win a prestigious International Film Award. Wow. Venice Film Festival, something of value in 1957. The first to be nominated for the Best Actor Academy Award. Wow. The first to star as a romantic lead in Paris Blue in 1961. The first to win the Oscar Lilies of the Fields in 1963. The first to become the number one box office star in the country in 1968. Wow. Welcome in, everybody. You might please. Yes. Wow. So he was known as Mr. Box Office. Okay. In 1960, the first to insist, he helped like on a film crew with all black. It was like a whole all black crew. Wow. Okay, he did some interaction movies. Like I seen a movie where he played with Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. And it was yeah, he was. Welcome in stood. He was he played some interracial uh parts too, Know what they saying right here. So I'm just gonna read just a little bit history about him. Okay, these are some of the movies he did in the interracial marriages and permit a mixed couple to hug and kiss. Okay. Guess who come for dinner? I seen that. Like I said, I was young, but this movie came out in 1967. And he did a movie called The Wilby Conspiracy in 1975. This when they was interacting interracial couples. Okay, they said in New York Times, Vincent Cabey once pointed out Potier does not make movies, he make milestones. Wow. His parents were poor tomato farmers in Bahamas. He was their seventh and last child. Wow. The family struggles hammered home a lesson he would always live by. Survival requires everybody to carry a load. In fact, by the age of 13, he was working full time to support the family. Now it was seven of them, y'all. He was the last child. And at age 13, he was working full time to support the family. At 16, he arrived in New York City totally alone with $3 in his pocket. They need to do a movie on him. Interracial couple was rare back in the day. Yes, it was like in 67. I wasn't born. Yeah, that movie first came out in 67. Wow. They said 16, he arrived in New York, y'all. He didn't have a $3 in his pocket. In order to escape the cold, he lied about his age and joined the army. What? So he lied about his age and went to the army. They didn't check his background and all that. So it was a short stint and that lasts less than a year. Back in New York City, he got a job as a dishwasher and stumbled into acting. While looking for a second job to make ends meet, he came across an ad calling for actors. Without any experience or training and barely able to read, he auditioned for the American Negro Theater. He was humiliated. Well, he was humiliated off stage, but 6 months later, better prepared, he auditioned again. His first production days of a youth led to nearly 10 more with the company, a national tour of Anna Costa in 1944, and 2 years later at 22, his first film, No Way Out, directed by Joseph L. McKinsey. It launched the career that, in words of his good friend, Harry Belafonte. Y'all remember Harry Belafonte? He's an actor, entertainment. Yeah, Miss Key. Wow. Ain't that's amazing? Ain't that's amazing? He left. It was seven of them, right? And he took responsibility at a young age to join the army, lied about his age, and he went in the army for a year. Wow. Thank you, Miss Key. So he was trying to take care of his siblings and stuff. So he did went into movies in 1944. I'm just reading here. Harry Belafonte put the cinema and millions of people in the world in touch with a truth about who we are. A truth that could have for a longer time elude us had it not been for him and the choices he made. So, in such landmark film as The Cry, The Beloved Country, 1952, all these movies I never heard of. Yeah, he paid away for Morgan Freeman too. He was the Morgan Freeman of our time. He was a decent, classic guy. Okay, so Stuart, you know some of these movies? Because I know a guy was there, he said he was born in 1963. I was born in 69, so it's a lot of this I don't know. But as I got older in school, I heard about Sidney Poitier, and he was handsome. He was a handsome man, and he did his part. He he deserved those awards. He did was acknowledged for. So in 1952, Black Bull Jungle, A Raisin in the Sun. That was in 1961 when he did Raisin in the Sun. They did remake that with P. Diddy, oh boy, which he was instrumental in bringing to the stage and film. He did movies from 1965. He did Sir with Love, 1967, The Heat of the Night. Okay. Yeah, I think I remember them saying he was in The Heat of the Night. So he must have was the first one to play in The Heat of the Night, y'all. Now I like The Heat of the Night. They still showing that today, but they showing it with the other guy. So I think he was the first one to be what the black guy name on The Heat of the Night. Okay. I was born in 58 and I'm white, and we loved his movies back then. Great act. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Because he had an audience of black and white. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know he played in Heat of the Night. Did y'all know that? See, by me reading and checking out Black History, I didn't know he played in the Heat of the Night. Wow. I love the Heat of the Night. The Chief was something else. So his first film, Buck and the Preacher, 1972, started two good friends from his African-American Negro theater days. I'm just reading what they're saying, but they're using all those words that we don't really use now. But yeah, I know where I'm coming from. Yep. Let me see what else. He had a good resume. He had a good resume. He did a lot of movies. He got different types of awards. So he made his mark on Black history. He really did. So he was in a movie called Uptown Saturday Night. I remember seeing that movie, some of it. He did the first film, Buck and Preacher, 1972, starring two good friends from Belafonte and Ruby Dee. I know y'all know who Ruby Dee is and Belafonte, with Paul Newman, Barbara Streisand, and Steve McQueen. He founded an independent first artist production company. Its first release was A Warm December, directed by Poitier. So he was a director too, y'all. Uptown Saturday Night. I think I remember hearing the name of that movie right there. Was the first of several box office comedy hits held by Poitier. Okay. Featuring largely black cast. Let's Do It Again. Okay, I think I remember that movie. A piece of the action which Garrett Poitier NWAC Image Award followed in 1980. He directed the year's biggest financial success, Stir Crazy. Oh, I didn't know that, y'all. He directed the movie Stir Crazy. That's with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. Now, that was a crazy movie. That was funny. And I remember seeing that movie, but I didn't know he was the director, though. So he got a lot of things. He got a lot of accomplishment. And Stir Crazy was a pretty good movie. It was funny with Richard Pryor and Gene Hackman. Shortly after ending a decade-long hiatus from acting, Poitier returned to television for the first time in 35 years to portray Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. Okay. right. Look, there's a lot of this stuff I'm learning. I'm gonna have to check this out. He played the man I was just talking about. I was just talking about Thurgood Marshall. Sidney Poitier played him in a movie. I'm gonna try to look it up and see if I find that movie. So in the Army, know what they say. 35 years to portray Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall in the My Award-winning miniseries, directed by George Stevens Jr. I'm gonna see can I check that out, find that movie. I would love to see that. Separate but equal, with his unique career, he forged without any present or bottom. Sidney Poitier helped change many stubborn racial attitudes that have persisted in this country for centuries. Yep. And I hate to say it, it might not be as bad as it was back when they was coming up, but it's still some racial out here. It's still bad out here in so many ways. We still run across some prejudice out here. It can be from either side. It's still going on in the United States. So right here they say he has built the bridges and opened doors for countless artists in succeeding generations. My phone went right. He's an actor who stood for hope, for excellence, and who has given happiness to millions of people around the world. Paying tribute to Sidney Poitier in 1967, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, he's a man of great depth, a man of great social concern, a man who is dedicated to human rights and freedom. He's a man who, in the words we so often hear now, is a soul brother. Wow. That's what Dr. Martin Luther King said about Sidney Poitier. Let me answer the phone right quick. Yeah, getting back to this. I'm going to read this again what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said about Sidney Poitier. In 1967, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, he's a man of great depth, a man of great social concern, a man who is dedicated to human rights and freedom. He's a man who, in the words we can so often hear now, is a soul brother. I just shared with y'all about Sidney Poitier. He's known as the first African American to be nominated and win a award for leading role for a leading man in Academy Awards. He was also a director. He did several movies. He paved the way for a lot of the stars today, from Denzel Washington to Morgan Freeman to Will Smith, Harry Belafonte. He was also with the movies and different things like that. So I was just sharing some things about Black history, moments in Black history. It's 29 people to have on this list, but I won't get to them all tonight. I'll probably do maybe one or two more, then I'm going to end it, then I'm going to come back and share the other ones. So this is part of our history. And like I said, it's good to know. I'm going to come on camera for a minute before I get to the next person. And it's good. Hey, y'all. If you haven't seen me, I am the host of this channel. I'm Georgia Guerra, and my channel is Georgia Guerra Everyone Wellness and More. And over here, you'll find me talking about current events, wellness. My main topic is over here is our mind, body, and soul. When it comes down to our health, I share a lot of awareness. I try to do meal prep. I'm all about uplifting myself along with others. And different times of the month, if it Black History Month, you'll see me sharing about that. You'll see me share different things on different occasions through the month. Awareness from epilepsy to heart health, Alzheimer, just all about the awareness, using my channel, using my platform to share awareness for different topics. I have my online boutique. I have merch available if you're interested in getting anything for Black History Month. I do challenges like this week. We're doing lemon water challenge, and this lemon water has been me going. But overall, I try to do things to help uplift and not tear down. And I hope that y'all are enjoying this segment. Like I said, the topic, I'm getting it from an article, and they have about 29 interesting people in Black history and the mark they made on Black history. So far, I shared about Hattie McDaniels. I shared about Thurgood Marshall. I also shared about Cindy Poitier and Shirley Chisholm. Those are the ones that I already have talked about so far. All of them have shared a mark on Black history. So I just wanted y'all to see me because I was behind the camera reading. I do want to thank those two guys that came in and some of the guys that came in sharing their opinions about some of the things that I have read. I'm thankful for your input. Like over here, like I said, I support. I don't mind people coming in, long as you're being respectful, sharing your opinion, because everybody's opinion does count. See, y'all told me something about Shirley Chisholm I didn't even know, because I didn't really get into her background like that. I just only was speaking on her status and what she was doing in the politics area. So that's part of being a YouTube creator. Some of the things that you don't know, somebody else could come in and share it with you. So I appreciate other people's input on things. And that's how we learn and grow out here. Respecting one another, sharing other people's opinions and things like that. So I'm going to get to the next couple of people. But I will be coming back with the rest of the people on the list. I made some stuff I'm just learning about. I have heard about the Thurgood Marshall, but I wasn't aware of his status and some of the things he was doing. So sometimes it's good to know your history, guys. It's good to know your history. So I want to thank the ones that already have gave me a thumbs up. Shout out to my members. And if you want to be part of my membership, just hit that join button. If you want to support me in any kind of way, you can. It's all up to you. But I just appreciate the thumbs up and the people just coming in, interacting. That means a lot. So I'm going to get to the next couple of people. I'm trying to put some light out here. Ooh, is it too bright, guys? My bifocals are showing. But like I said, I'm doing okay. It's been a rough couple of months for me. Like I said, I lost my mom a week before Christmas, and it ain't been easy. But I thank God for his grace and mercy to continue to make me stronger during this process. So I will get into the next person. Let me see who I got left. I think I'm going to go with her. I'm sure everybody know who she is. I'm sure everybody know this person right here. She was on the list. She's a gym. She's a athlete, gymnastic. She's in the gymnastic. Hold on. Her name's Simone. So I'm looking at this article This article was posted this is an article from 2024, and it just got the different names or people that made marks in the that made Black history. They got it known for them to do some of the things that they're doing and their accomplishment. Some of the people names on this list, they're not in order. They just, and I'm just going through. I just picked out a few today to talk about, and I'm gonna come back and share the other ones. Okay, not her. It's an interesting list of people, though. She had won gold medals and things like that. I'm trying to find just a little of her information. I got two more people that I want to try to get to before. Okay, we're talking about gymnast Simone Biles. So we're gonna share like the moments of Black history. Okay, in 2023, Simone Biles is the most decorated gymnast in history. At the 2023 World Artistic Gymnastics Championship in Belgium, Biles won 4 gold medals that brought her career medal count to 37, including 27 gold. Many already consider her the GOAT, greatest of all time. But this record-breaking achievement made it official. Okay, let me see. Get into details about Simone. Simone Biles cements status as the greatest gymnast with record-breaking world championship. She has made history with an incredible comeback after a 2-year hiatus, cementing her GOAT status by becoming the most decorated gymnast of all time. Biles competed in the World Gymnastics, like I said, in Belgium. She took on 4 gold medals. Wow. So she has a total of 37. That's amazing. Simone has made history with an incredible comeback after a 2-year hiatus, cementing her GOAT status by becoming the most decorated gymnast of all time. Biles competed in the World Artistic in Belgium, where she took home, like I said, 4 gold. She took home 4 medals. Okay, I'm just reading. Those are some of the things she accomplished. Let's see what else they're saying. This is just an article where I guess someone was interviewing her. Let's see what she said. So she had went through a lot for 2 years, but she was able to bounce back. Let me see. I think because of what you said, all of the things she had to deal with being a survivor. She's a survivor, and she's also a survivor of a sexual abuse scandal in sports. Wow. History, domestic or international, the Larry Nassar horrors. Well, y'all know about him, what he was doing to those girls. So she was one of them. Wow. Being abused in that way, being someone who, as we know from 2 years ago, went through the twisties. Wow. That was getting lost in the air, in the mental block and difficult that she had to point where she had to withdraw from several events at the Tokyo Olympic, being 26 years old, have lived through all of that. So she was abused. She was in that Larry Nassar, I know y'all remember him when all those, what he was doing to all those gymnasts and, what he was doing to all those girls and stuff. So she was really going through it for 2 years, mentally and physically. But she did come back. They said being 26-year-old, having lived through all of that, and coming back to have the week of her life, athletic in terms of physical powers that we know she had gone on back to Rio Olympics, actually going all the way back 10 years ago to her first world championship. And the ability to put all that together in a sport that truly a high-wire act. Wow. So I didn't know that. I know it was some stuff was being said about her, but I ain't really never just got into details. So this is Simone Giles. She made history by winning 4 gold medals. Okay. She went through a hiatus with her personal life, and she was also a victim of sexual abuse. But even though she went through all of that, she still came back strong. She won those, and she's still a gymnast today. She's still doing her thing. So she's part of our history. Okay, let me see what else they're saying. Let's see. She is a role model. They consider her as a role model. She is for kids and young people, anyone real around the world, male, female, anyone in terms of looking at your mental health and all. Trying to basically take care of everything she remember about the Tokyo Olympics is a little bit more than 2 years ago and moved that out of her head so that she could focus on the task at hand. So she went through it, but she was still able to get back out there, do what she needed to do to get those gold medals. Mm. So she was just okay. So that this she did a sit down interview with someone, and just some of the things that what she was saying in the article. She talked about wanting to just focus on what she cares about. And interestingly, GL, she talks about going meet by meet. In other words, she's not going to try to tell us what she's planning to do maybe the next year. She's looking from one meet to the next, step by step, a very smart approach, but one that a lot of athletes won't use. Wow. But she now conditioned herself to understand this is how she can achieve her best in the arena by being at her best with her mental health. And our mental health is very important, y'all. You know, some of the biggest stars and people around the world deal with mental health. We all have mental health. We all have mental health. We have to continue to take care of ourselves, nourish the things that need to be nourished, take care of our mind, body, and soul. Like I said, I go through it. Everybody go through it. But some people have mental health very different. Um, by me sharing and doing the things I do, this helping my mental health with my anxiety and different things that I'm dealing with. You know, losing my mom, it took a big toll on me mentally. But I had to get myself together. I had to pull myself and say, look, I got to take care of me. I got to be able to grieve, still be able to continue to live my life. I can't let the outside or anything that affect me mentally. I just try to keep going, keep pushing. And see, I see this in this young lady here. She went through abuse. She went through abuse. It affected her mentally. She went through some scandals, but she had to get back on the train and get back out there and get back focused. And she came back strong, won those medals. She's still doing her thing. And sometimes we go through our hard battles. Sometimes God will take us through those hard battles to be where we need to be at. And we have to sit back and look at some of the things that, because this is what I do. I think about some of the things that I'm going through now and some of the things that I'm still dealing with. But I know God will not put no more on us than we can bear. Hey, Louis, I'm just sharing some moment in Black history. You know her, right? This is Simone. She's the gymnast that won the 4 gold medals. This is Simone, yeah. Thank you. How are you doing? Did you watch the football game last night? Did you watch the Super Bowl? So I'm just sharing some things about some of the people that made marks and made Black history moments. Thank you. Watch the ads. That's how I get paid now. Oh, if anybody want to support me, give me any type of super chat or whatever, give me a thumbs up. It's all up to you. every little bit does help. Every little bit does help. So, but yes, I was just sharing some different people. So far, I have shown. This is the fifth. I think I got two more. This is the fifth person I done showed so far. I did Hattie McDaniel, Cindy Poitier, third, Good Marshall. Who else? Who else? Shirley Chisholm. I'm doing Simone Gills. Like I said, I'm showing what's that? Yeah, that's how we get paid. And woo, I tell you, it's been kind of rough for me, but you know how that is. I still try to keep pushing. Cause a little while I had to take a little break from my mom. I'm like, wow. I said, I get back out there. I get those numbers back up. I'm doing okay. I have my days, my mom will always be part of me. She will always be on my mind. But I had to find a way to be able to heal and continue to keep going. Your mom doing okay? Everybody doing good? So this is Simone Giles, and she made Black History when she won those gold medals. She continued today. She's still doing her thing today. She shared in this article where she had to go through a lot for 2 years. She was going through a hiatus for 2 years. And her main thing was to get back focused on what she started. Sometimes we have those setbacks. Sometimes they make us stronger. Sometimes it make us want to go harder. Short time notice to go eat supper, be back. Okay, I'll probably be on till the rest of this hour. Much love and respect everyone, and you too. And remember, tomorrow is not promised. To be kind and good to. Amen. Exactly. So this is Simone Giles, everyone. She's a gymnast, and she had to push through everything she went through, the abuse she went through, the Larry Nassar situation. She was one of the young girls that was in that. So it took a lot of, it took a lot out of her, physically and mentally. So those they saying right here, it would be the horrors of Larry Nassar or just the physical pounding that body takes of a young child, young girl, young boy, the growth plates. It's now becoming a sport for people who are a little bit older. So she's a role model to some of the ones that growing up that want to be gymnasts. So let's see what is she doing now. So I want to share about her. This is Simone Giles. Like I said, she won the gold medals. She won 4, and she have a total Simone Biles. That's what her name. She made history. She came back after taking care of a lot of personal. She went through a lot mentally and physically, but she was able to bounce back. And as of today, they consider her one of the GOATs in this era. What is that? I thought you were. Oh, okay. Well, you already got something to drink? No, there's just some lemon water I'm drinking right now. I've been drinking on this all day. Lemon water, it's just lemon water. So if you're peeping in the bushes and if you're coming in, I just shared some people that made history. Let's see who I got now. I did Shirley. Who is that? I did her. Let's see who this is. Oh, I did him. So I'm going to go with another person in politics. Y'all probably know him. Colin Powell. Y'all probably know who Colin Powell is. You probably know who he is. If not, I will tell you who he is. This is part of the 29 Interesting Black History Month. Some people that made their mark in Black history. This is no particular order, but these are just some people on this list I'm reading. I picked out 8 people today. I probably do 8 another day until I finish up the list. So this person right here is Colin Powell. He was in politics. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about the politics, but I know he made some type of impact with it. I'm just going to read the passage what they got him for on this list. Like I said, everybody, there's some interesting people on this list. I want to make sure I get to all of them, but it's going to take me a couple of days to get all the names. Some of the names you might be familiar with. Some of us probably weren't born when some of the people was doing some of these things. And then again, some people were, So I'm trying to find his description, what they have. This right here is Colin Powell. And I'm just reading just a brief summation about him. In 2001, Colin Powell became the first Black United States Secretary of State. Appointed to the role by President George W. Bush, Powell also served in the Reagan administration as Deputy National Security Advisor and National Security Advisor as well in the first Bush administration as Chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff. So he was appointed as Secretary of State by George Bush. A lot of people probably remember him during the George Bush era. They say he was the first Black person to become Secretary of State. I'm just going to read just a little bit more information about him. He was born April the 5th, 1937. He's been in the Army. He was ranked from 2001 to 2005 as one of the highest ranking of African American in the federal executive branch in American history. Okay. Like I said, President George Bush, who was appointed by President George Bush to be Secretary of State, and he was also Joint Chief of Staff with Bill Clinton and George Bush. He wasn't African American either. Okay. I didn't get into all that. I'm just reading what his title was. So he wasn't African American. Okay. I probably end up getting to it. But I was just reading what his title was. He was, they got it. This is how they got it written that he was an African American. Even though that's might not be what he was born with. He was born April the 5th, 1937. He died October 18th. Wow, I didn't know he died from the coronavirus, y'all. Did y'all know that? I didn't know that. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I'm getting to it now. I see it. So I was just reading that from the article. I had to go to his full, background. He died from coronavirus. Wow, I didn't know that. And that was during the time when that coronavirus first came out. So he was one of the ones It's just showing where he was nominated by Bush, and he was with Clinton. He was like the Secretary of State. He was with the Justice Department. Y'all see that? They say his parents were Jamaican immigrants who stressed the importance of educational, personal achievement. Powell grew up in South Bronx, Aretha, where he graduated from high school without having formed any definite ambition or direction in life. He entered the City College of New York, studied geology, and it was there, by his own account, that he found his calling when he joined the Reserve Officer Training Corps, ROTC. He became commander of his unit, Precision Drill Team, graduated in 1958 at the top of his ROTC class with the rank of cadet, colonel, the highest rank in the corps. Powell was commissioned a second lieutenant in the United States Army. Wow. You have a good, you have a pretty good resume, and he got several awards: the Purple Heart, the Bronze. And he was the first, even though he was born, like the guy said, he was born well, his parents was Jamaican immigrants, but they got him like the first African American to be nominated or pointed out by president to be Secretary of State. So yeah. And thank you again for sharing that with me. And when you share, when you bring it up, I see it. I go back and I read it. I see what you were saying. Okay. And this just acknowledging him in that way. He was with the Bush administration, the Clinton administration. Okay. Let's see what else they saying about him. So this right here, they was talking about that anthrax. They was talking about all that stuff in the Iraq to the United States Security Council. Okay. So he was a Republican. Oh. In 1995, General Powell announced that he had registered as a Republican, and he received a thunderous ovation when he spoke at the Republican convention following the year. He was a Republican. Although he did not forswear future political involvement, he has declined to seek elective office. Okay. So this is Colin Powell, everybody. Colin Powell. See, his wife was African American. Yeah, I saw that. See, they don't put what his actual nationality is. On this right here, they still got him acknowledging him as a African American, even though he was not born one, but they're acknowledging him as one. Colin, let me see what they say. Okay. So he was a Republican, and President Bush was a Republican, so he was in that party with them. So this is Colin Powell, everyone. I didn't know he died from COVID. So he died in 2021. He was 84 years old. On October 18th, 2021, Colin Powell died of complication related to COVID-19 at age 84. Powell had been fully vaccinated, but had undergone treatment in recent years. He was vaccinated, and he had undergone treatment in recent years for a blood cancer, multiple multiple myeloma, which is known to be weakening the immune system. I probably said that wrong, but y'all know what I'm saying. Mycelioma, that's what it is. Wow. So he had some type of blood cancer. It is weakening the immune system. Wow. Hmm. So this is things that I'm learning today. I didn't know he died from that. So this is colon power, everyone. So I'm getting on down the list. Getting on down the list. Getting on. The next person will be Jackie Robinson. Because Obama is the last one. This person right here is Jackie Robinson. You know, he was a baseball player. You know, like I said, today I'm discussing politics, people that was in politics, people that was in television, and civil rights leaders and things like that. So the next person is Jackie Robinson. I used to hear my mom talk about Jackie Robinson playing ball, and it was the man Sam Cooke. He's not on the list, but my mom used to love to listen to his music. Sam Cooke. Yeah. Sometimes I think about some of the things my mom used to talk about, and sometimes we realize some of the things that our parents told us and was telling us how things were gonna be. A lot of us still today don't really think, that it was gonna be true. But some things our parents and grandparents told us, it came true. And they lived it. Some of our parents and grandparents lived it during those times of segregation and slaves and all of that. Yeah, I know he was one, okay? I know he was one. But like I said, he's on this list. I got of 29 people that like the 29 people on this list, just like they made history as being like he's a athlete. So I'm just gonna read what they acknowledge him for. There's a lot of people on this list. Some names that I'll probably go over the rest of the week, as I go, so I get all of them completed. So you say he hated Muhammad Ali. You know a lot about these people. You know a lot. You know a lot about some of these people that I'm talking about. And it's good to know your history. It's good to know who invented this. Because I'm gonna be talking about the man that invented the peanuts, George Washington Carver. Okay. In 1947, Jackie Robinson makes his debut with the Brooklyn Dodgers. The Baseball Hall of Famer first game marked the end of decades of racial segregation in professional baseball. Minor league player Bud Fowler had previously broke the color barrier in 1878, temporarily opening the door for others. However, in 1887, major and minor league teams owners create an unwritten rule not to sign black players. Wow. So I'm going to get into this a little bit and see what all of this is about. So right here they said the history of baseball and civil rights in America. Baseball remained at its core a simple game played by millions from the youth level to national stage. But the occurrence of national pastime and American culture dates back to United States transition from urgent society to industrial power. In a short snapshot of any point in time of America last 150 years includes the fabric of baseball. And often baseball was at the forefront of cultural change. Jackie Robinson my success possible, said Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Without him, I would never been able to do what I did. Okay. That's what Martin Luther King Jr. said about Jackie Robinson. The magnitude of those words cannot be overstated. Dr. King's lasting work as a civil rights pioneer touched all areas of American experience. Yet he's credited a baseball player with making his dream viable. Wow. The 19 words speak to the breadth of depth of baseball present in America. The game represents the American idea at its root. What time it is? Okay. That hard work and fair play are the keys to success. Once Robinson was allowed to demonstrate his ability in the white big league, the doors appeared to open everywhere. It was a message that only baseball, with its power to cut across cultures, could deliver. The following timeline highlights some of the American history watershed moments, both on and off the field, and illustrate how baseball was and is a part of collective lives. Wow. Moses Fleetwood Walker, I don't even know who that is, was the last black player on an otherwise all-white major league team until Jackie Robinson in 1947. Following the Civil War between North and South, America experienced an era known as Reconstruction. So they say in 1878, it was before Jackie Robinson, Bud Fowler was the first black professional player. Okay. Didn't know that. So he led Moses Fleetwood Walker. Okay. That was in 1887. And then in 1947 is when Jackie Robinson started his time in baseball. Let's see what else they saying. So they say in 1887, black players like Walker would soon lose their place in baseball. In 1887, major league, minor league team owners adopted Secretary General agreement on unwritten rule that said that no contracts will be given to black ball players. The gentleman agreed. It's similar to Jim Crow laws adopted by some American states, effective forced black players out of professional leagues by 1900. Wow. This is called de facto segregation, which is segregation that occurs in practice without inner. See, that was back then. See, now, hey, First Lady, just sharing some Black History Month. Yes, it's Motivation Monday. And I'm sharing some moments of Black history. I have went over 7 people. I got one more person. That's Barack Obama. I have 29. I got to go over. I'm doing 8 today. And I'll share some more probably by Thursday. I'll share but share all of my list. How your day been going? My day been going pretty good. Just maintaining. I know I could have did none of this without God. Thanking him for his grace and mercy for giving me the strength to be able to keep going. It's been okay. It's been kind of warm today. And I was just going over some of the names and some of the moments of Black history. I did at least 7. Jackie Robinson was 1947. He became another black African American to play in the white league playing baseball. So they acknowledge him as being one of the African American to be playing in that league. Because back then they didn't want African American and white playing together. It was all back then. It was, it wasn't segregated back then. So, we have to thank God now that even though we still run across some racism, but we have to thank God that we ain't living in those days the way Jackie Robinson and all those other Shirley Chisholm, all those ones that I read about earlier, Hattie McDaniel, and all of them. We ought to be thankful that we're not living in those days, but there's still racism out here. There's still prejudice out here. You know, it's still out here. But I just thank God that we're able to go in a restaurant. We don't have to sit on one side. You know, we're able to interact with people. I have some Caucasian white friends. I have, I went to school with some. I'm glad that I wasn't in the area where we couldn't drink out the same water and eat at the same restaurant. You think about how some of those people had to live, and they had to be tough. Some of them had to have tough skin to be able to live in that area. So we have to salute all our people that went through that. They paved the way for us. They paved the way for us before we could be able to sit in the restaurants, before we could be able to drink out the same water fountain. So what I'm sharing today is just moments of Black history for educational, entertainment purposes. I'm trying to get back my niche, guys. I'm trying to get back to doing what I like to do. I enjoy my channel, but I have to have some personal and some time for myself. And when I have to do that, I take off. And that's life. We all, like I was saying before, we got to protect our mental health. Our mental health is very important. I always have said, losing my mom, it took a big toll on me mentally, but I'm getting stronger and stronger every day. But she's there in my heart, and I know she's watching over me. And I used to tell her about my channel when I would go there. Sometime I just went live, or I'd be about to go live. And she'd be like, Gal, where you finna go? I said, Mom, I'm finna go work on my channel. She didn't really understand about the YouTube and all that, but she knew that I was doing some things. I used to be over there sitting with her, and I could be making, working on my videos and stuff like that. And, she's a big part of me. My mom will always be in my heart, but I try to use my channel where I could be able to help others, help uplift others, help do things to keep myself grounded and keep myself uplifted. So I've been sharing Black History Run on my channel for years. I do it. I share Black history. I do wellness, awareness. I do my meal preps. I try to share inspiration. I'm talking about my family. I'm talking about myself. It's entertainment, but it's something that I do enjoy. I enjoy seeing my members, people that coming in here supporting. Thank y'all so, so much. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all. But if you haven't seen it from the beginning, I did acknowledge at least 7. I picked out 8 people from off the list. They're not in any particular order. Just acknowledging their place in history. And this is Jackie Robinson. He was able to play in the baseball league he was one of the ones that was lucky to be playing with them. And, I didn't see the movie. A lot of these people I have talked about, they have did movies on. I started watching the Jackie Robinson movie, but I didn't see it all. And, I'm sure that he was in that area where there was blacks who had to be on one side, whites had to be on one side. But they couldn't deny his talent. He was good. I got to get into his stats and stuff like that, see what did he do in baseball, but he was known. There was a lot of Black African-American athletes, not just only Jackie Robinson, but his name does stand out. They said Jackie Robinson and Martin Luther King received this is 1957, honorary degrees from Howard University. Robert will become a trusted advisor to King during the Civil Rights Movement of 1960. Okay. Right there. So he was working with Martin Luther King. So he was with the civil rights and everything. So the last person, and I know, a lot of people, the last person on my list for today is Barack Obama. And I know that we know for him to be African American, but I know he was not born African American. But that's what that's his status. That his status as African American. I know a lot of people did not vote for him. A lot of people didn't like his policies, but I voted for him twice. My mom, she was able to vote for him. She was able to witness a man of color to be president. Did anybody ever thought that would be? Anybody didn't ever think in my mama years or years before her that would ever happen. That's why I tell my grandkids and I tell the young people out here today, you could be whatever you want to be. Whatever you set your mind to be. If you want to go in politics, if that's your choice, if that's your niche, if that's what you want to do, follow your heart, follow your dream. So Barack Obama, on paper, they're saying he was the first African American president, even though his parents, Hawaii or whatever. But I'm finna get into everything before my friend come here and tell me he wasn't African American either. But that's just how they got it written. So in 2008, this is what they got written. 2008, Barack Obama elected the first Black president of the United States. He was the first Black president of the United States. I remember voting for him. I remember when we went to Washington. Me and my husband and my son, we went to Washington. I saw the parade. I saw the first parade when he was walking down the street, him and Michelle. I saw the kids. I saw when they was in their car. I just wasn't close enough where I could be able to touch him, but I was there in Washington when he did his first inaugural speech. When he was out there talking, I was there when he walked down that street in the parade. And I tell y'all, it was cold that day. That was one cold day. That was one cold day in Washington. So Barack Obama. So I'm going to read to y'all. This is my last person for the night. So when Barack Obama was elected president in 2008, he became the first African American to hold office. Obama faced major challenges during his two-term tenure in office. His primary policy achievements include healthcare reform, economic stimulus, banking reform, and consumer protection, and a repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, prevent lesbian and gay Americans from serving openly in the military. Obama's father, Barack Sr., a Kenya economist, met his mother, Stanley Ann Durham, when both were students in Hawaii. So his father, I'm assuming he was from Kenya. His mother was named Stanley Ann Durham when both were students in Hawaii, where Barack was born on August the 4th, 1961, They later divorced, and Barack's mother married a man from Indonesia, where he spent his early childhood. Before fifth grade, he returned to Honolulu to live with his maternal grandparents and attend a private prep school on scholarship. In his memoir, Dreams from Our Father, 1995, Obama describes the complexities of discovering his identity in adolescence. After 2 years at Occidental College in Los Angeles, he transferred to Columbia University, where he studied political science and international relations. Following graduation in 1983, Obama worked in New York City, then became a community organizer on the south side of Chicago. Coordinate with churches to improve housing conditions and create job training programs in a community hit hard by steel mills closures in 1988. He went to Harvard Law School, where he attracted national attention as the first African American president of the Harvard Law Review. Returning to Chicago, he joined a small law firm specializing in civil rights. In 1992, Obama married Michelle Robinson, a lawyer who had also excelled at Harvard Law. Their daughters, Malia and Sasha, was born in 1998 and 2001. Obama was elected to Illinois Senate in 1996. If you're looking in the bushes, if you're coming in, I've been sharing moments of Black history. I have shared 8 people. Barack Obama is my last person for today. I'm just reading about his history from when he was born up until he got into office. So I'm sharing about when he met Michelle Obama. They got 2 girls. I'm also sharing about when he was elected in Senate in 1996. Like I said, I voted for him twice. I think he was a pretty good president. Like I said, I don't know all the policies and some of the things maybe he probably should have did better. Some things he probably should. I just voted for who I voted for. To me, I think he did pretty good. People do have their opinions about him. They do have their opinions about him and his wife. But, that's what people are entitled to their opinions. So finish this on up. Okay, he was Senate in 1996, and then he was then to the U.S. Okay, hold up. Obama was elected to the Illinois Senate in 1996, and then to the United Senate in 2004 at the Democratic National Convention that summer. He delivered a acclaimed keynote address in 2008 after winning the Democrat nomination after a hard-fought primary race with Hillary Clinton. I remember that. I remember those debates too. It was funny, but I tell you, he defeated Arizona Senator John McCain by 365 to 173 electoral votes in the general election. Yep. And as the incoming president, Obama faced many challenges, including the 2008 financial crisis, war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and continuing global war on terrorism. Inaugurated before an estimated crowd of 1.8 million people, Obama proposed unprecedented federal spending to receive the economic and a renewal of America's stature in the world. During his first term, he signed 3 signature bills: economic stimulus, health care reform, and legislation reforming the national financial institution. Obama has pressed for a Fair Pay Act for women and new safeguard for consumer protection. In 2009, Obama became the 4th president to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. However, in 2010 midterm election, the Democrat lost control of the House of the Representatives, thus affecting Obama's future domestic policy agenda. In 2012, he was reelected over former Massachusetts governor. They voted for him again, Mitt Romney, by 332 to 206 electoral votes. The Middle East remained a key foreign policy change. Obama directed a military and intelligence operation that led to the killing of Osama bin Laden. I remember when they were looking for him, but they got him. And the terrorists responsible for September 11. I remember September 11 too. That was so sad. And then that's my anniversary date. Every year on my anniversary, it always reminds me of the tragic that happened in 2011. And I told my husband we got married on that day with all that was going on. But that is my wedding anniversary, guys. Where I left off at. However, a new self-proclaimed Islamic state arose during a civil war in Syria and began inciting terrorist attacks. Obama sought to manage a hostile Iran with a treaty that hindered its development of nuclear weapons. The Obama administration also adopted the Paris Climate Agreement signed by 174 states in the European Union in 2015 to reduce greenhouse gas emission and slow global warming. In the last year of his second term, Obama spoke at two events that clearly moved him. The 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights March from Selma to Montgomery and the dedication of the National Museum of African American History and Culture. I would love to go see that museum now. I would love to. We recently went to the museums in Montgomery, and I tell you, those museums, they really moved me. I mean, it's just, and we took my grandkids, and, I'm explaining to them and telling them how things were back in the day. And I assure my kids and I let them know, y'all are truly blessed. People don't realize how blessed they really are. And I tell my grandkids that every day. I tell my children how blessed they really are. And we are. A lot of people don't realize we are truly blessed. If you think about some of the things that, like I said, our parents and grandparents and their grandparents had to go through, we're blessed. And we can't take nothing for granted. Can't take nothing for granted. I don't. So if we're going to finish this up, right now I'm reading about, I still be saying President Obama, even though he's not president, but he was president. I voted for him twice. Like I said, I ain't never really got into his policy or what he should have done or what he shouldn't have done. Some of the things he did a lot of things, accomplished a lot of things, and a lot of people ain't gonna give him credit for it. And a lot of them gonna always, and that's how it is. A lot of people won't give people credit where credit is due. It doesn't matter if you're a president or you're a teacher or you're just being a good person or parent, or you could just be who you are. But a lot of people won't recognize or don't want to give you that accomplishment that you already deserve. But you don't need them to do that. Your work does speak for itself. And whatever he accomplished those 2 years, he felt like he did what he could. But he had a Congress where I know I was watching it. Every time he would try to present something, they didn't want to agree with him. You know why a lot of stuff, why they didn't want to agree with him? Because of who he was. But like I said in the beginning of this live, and when I was talking about Trump, be for the people. You can't just be for the Republic. You got to be for everybody. Because there was a lot of people did vote for him. And I think a lot of them is disappointed in him and what he's doing now. But you got what you voted for. I didn't vote for him, but he's still the president. He's still the president. But there's somebody over him. God is chief of all chiefs. So anything that he think he's done, I mean, I hate to say it might backfire on him. You know, I'm just gonna say I think he's prejudiced. A lot of people say they don't think he is, but he is. Look what he just did with this man and his wife. Oh, he didn't do it. Oh, yeah, they said it was a staffer, but that was your account, right? That was your account. Why you could be the president? Why you didn't fire that staffer? Why you couldn't come out as a president and say, look, we don't have this type of behavior. I don't have this type of behavior in my company. I don't have this type of behavior in my White House. I don't have this type of behavior using my account. First thing he said, he's not going to apologize. But let there have been Obama calling him doing something to him in his term, putting something on his body, it would probably have been a riot. It probably would have been a whole big mess. Because of the fact of who Barack Obama was, he didn't stoop to that level. He did not stoop to that level. But like I said, you vote for what you got. So we're going to finish this up right here. So what did I leave off at? Okay. Yeah, they say in the last year, his second term, Obama spoke to two events. Okay, I read that. To the Montgomery, the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights March from Selma to Montgomery, and the dedication of National Museum of African American History and Culture. Our union is not yet perfect. This is what Barack Obama had said. Our union is not yet perfect, but we are getting closer, he said in Selma. And that's why we celebrate. He told those attending the museum opening in Washington, mindful that our work is not done yet. And that's true. We have came a long way, but we still got ways to go. We still got ways to go. Like I said, we see how our people were whipped. We're seeing how they was whipped, spit on, rocks were thrown at them just because they wanted to vote, just because they wanted to vote their opinions or they wanted to change some things. We've seen all this. We have heard our parents, our grandparents. We have read in history books. We have seen it, how everybody was separated. White was on one side, blacks was on one side. Yes, we have came a long way from that, but we still have some ways to go. Sometimes they still look at us, color, our skin. They think we're like they put on his body. They think that we don't know anything. They think that we can't make it. But it has been proven. We have success in people being doctors, nurses, uh, people that own their own business, and this go to show. We even had a African American for president, and just recent last year, as they put it, the first African lady to be nominated again for president. Even though they said she wasn't black either, but she was a woman of color. So I tell the children, anybody that's listening to me today, we have came a long way, but we still got ways to go. There's still some things need to be changed, some laws. There is. And sometimes we witness things that we think like, wow, people still doing this in this century. So I brought to y'all 8 people today, moments of Black history. And I'm going to trying to finish it up, probably the rest of the week. But like I said, Barack Obama, he did what he could do. I mean, like I said, I don't know the politics or all his policies. I know some of the things where I have read, some of his accomplishment. And it's still some people today still don't like him. There's still some people today want to acknowledge whatever he's done. They still say he didn't do nothing. But that's their opinion. But he made history. Nobody never thought that a man of his stature, a man of his color, would become president. But that go to show, with God, all things are possible. And it's also proven that whatever you put your mind to do, you can do it. It's possible. It's possible that you could be whatever you want to be. It's possible. So he was a 2-term president. And they said Trump want to go 3. I'm telling y'all, who get mad with me? You can look at it from the bushes, or you can come in the chat. If Trump go for 3 terms, Barack, you better get your butt back out there. That's all I'm gonna say. Cause to me, I think he'll knock him on out the park. I think Barack can knock him on out the park. I really do. If Donald Trump try to get a 3-term president, it's on the right that Barack Obama run again. I would hope he would. But he's 64 years old now. And when that man first when Barack Obama first went into office, I tell you, them 2 turned them gray-headed. It really did. Because I know he was scratching his head on a lot of this stuff going on out in the world. And I'm sure he's still scratching his head now today. And one thing I like about him, even though all that controversy was going on by what Trump put his head, Mike on him and his wife's body, I haven't seen him respond. He have not responded. And then, and one thing too, every reaction doesn't require reaction. Sometimes you can put these just where people can get it. You don't even have to curse them. You don't have to put them down. You can put it in a way where you know they'll get it. And people don't realize ignoring a person, it hurt them even more because they're going to want your attention. And I think Trump want attention. He want attention. Why is you worried about what this man and his wife got going on when you should be focused on the country? Well, they're going to say, he didn't post it, but it was on your account. So I don't believe that. You're the president of the United States, so a random staffer can use your account. Really? Who believe that? Who believe that? I don't. But so Barack Obama is my last person of the night. And like I said, just looking at his resume, he have a long resume from Senate to president. He was with the civil rights. He was He was part of the Democratic Party. And some of the things that he set out to do, he had some accomplishment while he was president. But like he said, it was still more work for him to do. But he could only go 2 terms. So he did the 2 terms and he accomplished what he could. But like I said, they don't want to give him credit for nothing. He was the 44th president, 2009 through 2017. His key accomplishment was passing the Affordable Care Act, which they trying to knock it out the box now. They're trying to get rid of it. And I tell you, I know they doing something to these insurance, because like I said the other day, my insurance done went up. My medicine done went up. Some of my co-pays done went up. A lot of things are changing because of what Donald Trump trying to do. So I'm just going to read some of the Barack Obama accomplishment. Then I'm going to get off of here. Like I said, he served the president from 2009 to 2017. His key accomplishments include passing the Affordable Care Act, rescuing the auto industry, authorizing the mission to kill Osama bin Laden, implementing the American Recovery Reinvestment Act to combat the Great Recession. His tenure focused on economic recovery, environmental protection, and social reform. So he had started the Affordable Care Act in 2010. It was passed. Comprehensive healthcare reform providing insurance to millions, prohibiting pre-existing condition, discrimination, and allowing young adults to stay on parent plan. And it was a lot of people had their insurance. A lot of them. I don't know about now. Some of the plans are changing now. So the Economy Recovery Act, they say it was a $787 billion American Recovery Reinvestment 2009 to stimulate the economy, prevent a recession. Okay, and like I said, they help with the auto industry. So there's a lot of things he was able to accomplish, but there was still some things left undone. So I brought to y'all 8 people, 8 moments of Black history. I want to thank the ones that get out the camera. Even though Obama's not president no more, he still will be my president in my eyes. Salute to him and to everybody that I did share with y'all today. I'm here. I'm finna wrap this up. Like I said, this list right here I got is 29 people on. I did 8 today. I will try to finish up this list probably in a couple of days. I'll finish up the list. Vote blue. All right, I got you. I hear you. I hear you. Yep. He is. How you doing? I don't know what's going on with him. That's why I was just saying, Obama, I just recognize him as one of the moments of Black history, because he was. Did nobody think this man was gonna win? Did nobody think that we was gonna have a Black president? Even though his dad wasn't a Black, they still saying he wasn't Black, but that's what they're saying on his information. They got him as a Black man. So I'm just gonna see how they got an African American. Like I said, I had the opportunity to go to Washington in 2008. I went with my son class because my son class had won the they school had made a high score on their. Hey, the J Jordan, how you doing? That's one of my members. How you doing? I'm just over here sharing some Black history moments. Good to see you. I'm trying to bounce back, like I told you. Thank you for my. I don't know if I had a chance to tell you. Thank you for my birthday wishes. You had song to song. It brightened up my day. You know, I had lost my mom a week before Christmas. It's been kind of hard. I'm just maintaining and just trying to continue to live. But she gonna always be in my heart. It is good to see you. I see you still doing your thing over there. You be making music out of everything. I look at Jay Sure. He can make a music out of a ham sandwich. But I'm hanging in there. It's been kind of touchy, but I give God all the glory to continue to give me the strength to keep making it. And I was just sharing. So, did I get a what? Did I get a? Ooh, I thought I seen a super chat. Let me play my song. I thought I seen a super chat. I did. This is my little jingle right here, J. Jared. This is my. I thought I seen a super chat. A super chat. I did. I got a super chat. So thank you. I thought I seen a super chat. A super chat. I did. I got a super chat. So thank you. I thought I seen a super chat. A super chat. I did. So that's my little jingle. Y'all. I thought I seen a super chat. That's my little jingle, y'all. Shout out to my members. Thank you. Thank you, Jay Jerry, for being a member on my channel. Shout out to my members, y'all. Shout out to my members. Y'all make sure y'all connect with my members. Their channels are being dropped in the chat. Make sure y'all check them guys out. They all have a lot to offer in their channel. And thank you, Ralph. You said I watched Daniel X to start in Omega and Queen Lily and Texas Paul stick together. What is that, a movie? But yeah, I just want to bring y'all some moments in Black history. Like I said, you know, we are truly blessed. You know, if you think about some of the things, like I said, our grandparents and their parents went through the paid ways for us. You know, a lot of people still don't vote today, which we had our grandparents and their grandparents, and we had leaders out there stomping the ground. Make your voice count, guys. Make your vote count. If you living in an area where voting is required, do it. Vote. If you're in a state where you know things are not right, that's what your vote is made for. That is what your vote is for. You have a chance to go to your senators, your governors, your mayors, and things like that. You have a chance to go to your community centers and your town meetings. And if something ain't right, vote your opinion. Vote your opinion about things. You know, at least you could say you want your voice to be heard. And all the people that voted for Trump, some of them regret it, but that's what you did. You did that. You voted him back in there. So you see him doing all the little childish stuff and all this. You got what you voted for. Trump is going after blue because blue states care about regular people. That's right. And that is true. Don't be whining now. Don't whine now. Try to make things better. Try to make things better. He do. You know, they're going to come in their chat in a minute. But I'm finna get off of here. Like I said, you ain't vote for it. We had the J Journey coming up in here. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. We got Frank in here, Frank G Life. Everybody that came by today, thank y'all for coming in. No, I didn't vote for him either. But I don't, I respect the ones that did. If that was your choice, I respect the ones that did. You made that choice. President Obama protests, but don't forget to vote. Yeah. That's why I said we had people out there marching for people to vote. It's still people won't vote. Martin Luther King and all the ones, and Rosa Parks and all the ones that sacrificed for us. And some people still not satisfied. Some people still take things for granted. You know what? I'm just thankful that we're not living in the days the way it was. I'm glad that we're free to walk in a restaurant. I'm glad we can go and drink out some water. Well, I don't know. A lot of places don't have the water fountains now because of the COVID. A lot of those water fountains are closed. But I'm glad that we're able to, even though it's prejudice still out here. It's prejudice still out here. But I'm saying our voices are being heard more, can be heard better now than it was back then. But it can also, our voice can be even louder if everybody would have pulled together. You know what I'm saying? Like in our community where we live, there's a lot of people be talking about the water bill and all the stuff. Go to those meetings up there to the mayor's office. You go up there and you complain. You go up there and tell them people how these bills are. They need to fix the water sewages and all these different things. That's what we pay our taxes for, y'all. We pay our taxes on our land. We pay our taxes on these cities. But we can be able to have the things we need. Let your voices be heard. It's true. I talk to older people and younger people who say they don't vote. Yeah. A lot of them don't. I'm glad my kids registered. They can vote. I remember my son had registered. He voted for Barack Obama. My daughter. I have a 37-year-old and a 28-year-old, and both of them are registered voters. They moved out from the area I'm in, but they still in Georgia and they can vote in that area. Trump is cheating and we don't need to let up. Give him the satisfaction. That's true. So do you have a channel, Ralph? And thank you for the super chat. Do you have a channel? I mean, like I said, I have people coming in that say they voted for him. And I respect what you done. But don't disrespect no one that didn't vote for him. You know what I'm saying? But I want to bring a moment of Black history. I was trying to put some light up here. And I will be sharing the rest of the names. I probably come out with this segment on Thursday. And because I do Wellness Wednesday over here, I talk about health and wellness. Tomorrow's Testimony Tuesday. It all depends on when I get back from what I got to do. I'll come on and share. If anybody have a testimony they want to share, I'm trying to put some light. The light right there. I'm someone shows you who they are listening. If someone shows you who You better say it. You better say it. If someone show you who they are, believe them. Thank you, Ralph, and come back to see me. Thank you for the super chat again, because I'm finna wind this up, but I appreciate all the input. Like I said, I'll be sharing some more people for Black History Month, and I like seeing everybody's opinions in the chat and how they feel about things. You can always have a conversation. You can look at their opinions and nobody be judged, because everybody's opinion does matter. And a lot of people that got to the point where they just fed up with some of the things. If you fed up with a lot of things in your city, you fed up with stuff with the government, vote. like Barack Obama said, don't boo, vote. Don't boo, vote. He said a lot of people probably like, what is she over there talking about? But anyway, I don't really talk about politics, but I see what I see. And you know, like I said, everybody has an opinion. And I hope that y'all enjoyed the commentary today. Like I said, I have shared Black history every year. I'm sharing something about Black history. I'm sharing about wellness, awareness. I'm cooking over here. I'm an every woman. So that means I do a little of it all. But I'm all about uplifting and not tearing down. Okay? And let's continue to keep, just being who you are. Don't change for no one. Don't change for nobody. If you say you voted for Barack Obama, don't be ashamed and say you didn't vote for him. Yes, I know he probably did some things that a lot of people didn't like, but he stayed president 2 times. So it was something that people liked about him. And just getting back to Trump. If that's who you voted for, if that's who you like, it's fine with me. But don't whine. Don't whine about when you see him acting like a little child and throwing them tantrums. What you get mad about that man? What you get mad with Bad Bunny for? Then why he got mad with Bad Bunny? Was he mad because he could understand what the man was saying? Is that why he got mad? Because we didn't know what he was singing about? But hey, I'm gonna get off of here. But from what people were saying, right? Bad Bunny was sending out a message, and Trump didn't like the message. So I didn't see all. I'm gonna go watch his video. I'm gonna go watch his halftime now. But whatever going on, Bad Bunny have deleted his Instagram page. He must be getting crazy comments and stuff. It probably some of Trump folk. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But anyway, this just been, oh, did I see a super chat? Hey, Brad, you don't come here. Don't you come here and get on me now. Don't you come here and get on me about Trump. Thank you, Brad. Brad is also one of my members. I met him a few months ago. Brian, you must like to hear my song, Brian. Y'all like to hear my song? I thought I seen a super chat. A super chat. I did. I got a super chat. So thank you. I thought I seen a super chat. A super chat. I did. I got a super chat. So thank you. That's my little jingle, y'all. Just entertainment. But that's my voice now. Thank you, Brian. I was over here just sharing some moments in Black history. You have to go back and watch the replay. I shared about Barack Obama. Shirley Chisholm, Jackie Robinson, uh, Mamie McDaniel. Well, not Mamie, but Hattie McDaniel. Thurgood Marshall. Who else I shared? Sidney Poitier, Simone Giles. I did 8 peoples today. Just some moments of Black history. I'll be sharing the rest of the month. And this is just entertainment, but it's history. It is good to know your history. It's good to know your history. If you like me, half of the time you was in class, wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I'm about to get off of here in a few more minutes. I done did about. Ooh, I ain't been in on this long in a while now. I guess I might well gonna finish this on out. You done ate your supper, and I was just talking about some moments in Black history. Like I said, a lot of people didn't like Barack Obama, but he did make history, y'all. He did make history, and for the ones that voted for him, that was your vote, and the ones that voted for Trump, that was your vote also. So we over here on my channel, we try to respect people all the way around the board. Cause everybody ain't gonna agree. Everybody gonna have their opinions. So that's what we do over here. We dissect. We check out everybody's opinion. We don't try to uh make nobody feel a certain way because you did this or you did that. You have your right to feel the way you feel. So, and thanks for the super chats. Thanks to everybody that came through today. And thanks for the stickers. Shout out to my members. I had gave a shout out to my members on my community wall. And if anybody want to become a member on my channel, join the crew. I do shout outs, and I try to share your content and different things like that. The best way I can. If you're a YouTuber that has membership, YouTube now can give membership. YouTube now can give membership to give to your audience. No, it's allowing the channel owner to give out 10 membership per month for your viewers. Oh, for real? So the owner gifted one judge. You gifted somebody. Who you gifted? Brian just gifted somebody. Who you gifted, Brian? So you said it's allowing channel owner to give out 10 membership. Oh, the owners can do that? Okay. Brian just gifted somebody membership. Hey, Rudy. Who did you gift it? Shout out to Brian for gifting somebody. Who got a membership for a month? I don't know who he gifted. Who did he gift it? It ain't showing. Oh, let me see. Who did he gift it? Okay, I'm trying to go back and see. I know they didn't took the y'all don't have wrenches. Y'all have some little shields or something. YouTube have changed a lot of stuff. Oh, he got Young Riz. Young Riz, you got gifted for the is Young Riz in here? I ain't seen Young Riz. Young Riz is a gifted member, but I haven't seen him in the chat. So how do they go by doing that? They get people that been in the chat, or I haven't seen Young Riz today. But shout out to Young Riz for being a gifted member. So how do they do that? They just randomly pick people? Thank you, Brian, for Young Riz. He do be over here, but I don't think I seen him today, though. I don't think I have. Okay. Oh, whoever subscribed to the channel. Okay, Rudy the Boxer. Who is this right here? Who is Rudy the Boxer? Welcome in. I was trying to see did I know you. Have you been over here before? But anyway, you might have to see the recap. I was sharing about some moments in Black history. Shirley Chisholm, she was the first lady to be in Congress, and she also was she also put in a bid for president. She was the first Black lady to bid for president, Shirley Chisholm. And you know, Sidney Poitier, he won a Academy Award for the first Black leading man in a film. I talked about him some. I also talked about Jackie Robinson. You know, he was a baseball player. He was playing while all the segregations was going on and stuff like that. So we have some important figures in Black history. We do. A lot of people some people talk about it, some people don't. But over here on my channel, I try to touch a little everything from health, entertainment. I talk about my own journey. I talk about my family. I'm sharing sometimes when I go places. I'm an area woman, so y'all probably see a lot of things over here. And I've been on with YouTube for the last about 4 years. And like I say, it's entertainment. It's a hobby for me. But I know how to separate social media from my real life when it's time for me. The first Black United Congressman, I said Congresswoman. I'm talking about the Congress, you know, Shirley Chisholm, you know her? The first Black United States congressmen were all Republican. That what you saying? Okay. I haven't got to that part, but I was talking about, I got another super chat. I was talking about, you know, Shirley Chisholm. I thought I seen a super chat. A super chat. I did. I got a super chat. So thank you. I thought I seen a super chat. A super chat. I did. I got a super chat. So thank you. I thought I seen a super chat. A super chat. I did. I got it. I talked about Colin Powell. You know, I didn't even know he was he was a Republican. Colin Powell, he was a Republican, and he died from COVID, y'all. You know, I'll be finding out a lot of stuff when I be. But anyway, That was my mom on that picture behind me. My sweetheart. Yep, that was my mom. She left me a week before Christmas. But been trying to maintain. Been hard, but I'm trying to maintain. But I'm really gonna wrap this up. I didn't realize I was on this long, but I was gonna finish because I hadn't did a live in this long in a while. But it was very interesting because I had people coming in sharing about, the people that I was talking about. Like I said, I talked about Colin Powell. I didn't know he was a Republican. I mean, it's a lot of stuff I'm learning. Like I said, I don't really talk about a whole lot of politics, but he is one of the people that was on my list. He was on there, Jackie Robinson, Barack Obama, Shirley Chisholm, Hattie McDaniel, Simone Giles, Sidney Poitier, and Shirley Chisholm. I just shared some brief information about them, but like I said, they all had an impact in American history, whether they was politics, athletes, entertainers. They had their accomplishments. But I'm gonna finish talking about some more. Probably talk more about Black history on Thursday. Cause tomorrow is Testimony Tuesday. If I get back from that appointment, I'm gonna come live. And then Wednesday's Wellness Wednesday. I try to do either Motivation Monday or Word of the Day or Moments of Black History. I'm always doing something on this channel, whether it be a live stream or a video. And I'm just making up for some of the time I was missing when I was gone for a few weeks. So just trying to get those numbers back up, but it'll get there. But long as I'm mentally where I need to be, and I still have my moments. Just when I look at my mom picture, it still make me emotional, but I done got a little bit stronger because I couldn't even look at her picture, and still now bring tears to my eyes. But I know she's smiling down on me, and she won't want me to, she know that I've been sad, and she know that I'm going through it, but she won't want me to be where I can't function and be able to live. And so I had to get myself back right mentally to be able to say, well, if I'm gonna come back and do some work on this channel, I'm gonna have to try to be able to stay here talking and everything. Hey, Parika. Pastor Herman Reveals was elected by the Mississippi legislature to the United States Senate and as a Republican to represent Mississippi. Okay. Was he black? Was he black? Parika, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm over here just sharing some Black history moments. About to get ready to wind this on up. I see you've been doing something in lemon water too. Yeah, we started by doing the challenge. Look, I've been drinking lemon water. And believe me, it been going through me too. It been working. You hear me? I've been had to go to the bathroom. I had made me a picture. Thank you. I had made a picture and I've been drinking on it throughout the day. For the next 4 days, this is gonna be my drink, y'all. No caffeine. I try not to drink that much caffeine now anyway because of the inflammation I have in my body. So I try to stick with, tea or some type of water or something like that. Yeah. Yes, he served her. Oh, he did. See, it's a lot of things I didn't know. I was just going down this list about the 29 people, and there's a lot of different people on this list. Yeah, it does. It does. And we do that challenge every year, lemon water. And you can get that at a restaurant, lemon water. So it ain't nothing but water and lemons. I just cut up me some. And whenever I want to drink some, I refill. Yep. But I'm hanging in there, y'all. It's been hard, but I'm hanging in now. I'm hanging in now. And you learn something every day. You learn something new every day. Um, yeah. Y'all can connect with each other. We got Parika in here. She does a lot of what is it, ASMR. She does a lot of sounds and different things on her channel. It'd be very interesting in some of the things she be doing over there. I mean, she could take a piece of paper or anything. You could just hear the sound, and you know, like, wow, how did she do that? You be doing some stuff over there. I be like, really? You be doing it up over there, girl. And then I be seeing some of the food and different things that you be sharing. Continue to do what you're doing over there. Cause we all gotta find our way with this healthy journey, you know. We can only do what we're able to do. We sometimes we have those setbacks and sometimes we have to start all over. I'm like, woo. Every time I say I'm gonna do right, let me go somewhere on the weekend. It just messed me up. It messed me up, Marika. I be telling them kids, I can't deal with y'all. They be like, Mama, you ain't get nobody tell you to sit up there and eat that stuff, and then you gonna be talking about you hurt. You know you're supposed to. But we human, y'all. We learn through the things we go through, y'all. We learn through it. We do. Because I told my doctor when I went back to the doctor a couple of weeks after my mama died, right? And you know, I'm supposed to be off anything that give me inflammation, that concerns sugar, greasy food, caffeine, all that. But I was crashing, y'all. I crashed so bad when my mama died. It just like, oh, they would had that pound cake and them pies and I always, and this the worst thing I know I do. I turn to food when I be going through emotional things, and that's the worst thing to do. That's the worst thing to do. Turn to food when you going through a lot of when you going through a crisis. And I said, I can't do it no more. I got it's a go. But at the time, it was good. It was good, and I was stressing, crying, and sitting there eating that pound cake, and I ended up paying for it. And now I said, Lord, I gotta get back on track. But I'm human, y'all. I'm human. Now my daughter wanna call. Hold up, y'all. They know I'm about live. I told them I'll bike working on YouTube now. Everybody wanna call when I get back to working. Hold on. That my baby. Cause I'm telling you one thing about my children. They don't be heard from me all day. Or they haven't talked to me or something. They gonna get to calling. And I tell them, I said, if I don't answer the phone, then y'all know I'm on YouTube. So, but I had took a little brief moment, you know, just to try to get myself back on track and stuff like that. And we deserve to have our time. Thank you. We deserve to have that time, you know, have that time for you. Take that time out for you, you know, because we human. We gonna have those days. Gonna have those good and bad days. Welcome in, little pen. That might be the longest time. No, this I've been on 3 hours before. This the first time I've been on 3 hours since I've been back. But I'm gonna get off of here. Cause look, that bike tightening up that freight. You see I'm moving around, and then the water working on me. But I enjoyed everybody. But I hope that y'all watch the replay. I'm gonna do another segment of Black History on Thursday to share some more people. Yeah, I'm paying for it now. You see how I'm sitting up, don't you? My daughter talking about, Mama, where you at? I said I'm on YouTube. I said I'm back working on YouTube now. But Lil Penny, welcome. You say I'm gorgeous. For real. Thank you. But anyway, y'all, I enjoyed everybody. I'm gonna give y'all some flowers. Thank y'all for tuning in. Give people their flowers while they're here, y'all. I want my flowers, y'all. Give people their flowers while they're here. Thank everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna do another segment. It was 29 people, so I'm gonna have to break them down. I got 8 so far, so I'm gonna do the rest probably later on this week. On some days. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for the super chat. Shout out to you, Brian. You gifted Young Riz as a member. Frank, I thought he had got you, but maybe you'll get one. But thanks to everybody that tuned in. Y'all don't forget to stay safe, stay warm, stay encouraged. You will, okay? Stay encouraged. Oh, yeah, I watched that movie Forever last night. I got my Netflix account back, Frank. I watched that movie Forever. It had me crying, Lord. I'm going to talk about that movie. It had me crying, Frank. The movie called Forever. It came out of 2024, but oh my God. Ugh, it had me crying last night. As I know I need to be watching no stuff like that. I'm already be crying as it is. But all right, you guys.